So, welcome back, and we will continue our discussion. All the aspects we are seeing, what is preventing Arjuna from right understanding. He is being deluded. Because of delusion and contrary understanding, he is thinking that what is told in the scriptures is not his duty, but he formulates his own duty. That is why he does not want to fight. And then last time we had stressed on the fact that of these two main obstacles, Shoka and Moha, Shoka springs only when there is a feeling of I with regard to worldly things. So the cycle is like this. First is ignorance about our real nature. Because of this ignorance, we identify ourselves with the mind and body complex. We think I am so and so, I have such a body. Then from that, what happens? Anything connected to the mind and body, we think we are connected with that. So, all the things which belong to the mind and body, we relate to ourselves. So, anything happens to that particular thing, we think we are being harmed. So, cycle has come a long way. Degradation comes a long way when it reaches this stage. First, we identify with the subtle thing, mind. Mind creates the body. Every birth, when we die, we leave this body. What creates the body? Another body? The mind. The sanskaras in the mind. So we keep on identifying ourselves with this mind and body complex in every birth. Every birth we are accumulating things. All those things we are leaving when we die. Still next birth we think that the things of the world, the people of the world belong to us. So this is the root, Sri Krishna says, of misery, of shoka. And when it goes beyond a certain limit, like in Arjuna, so much shoka at the even thought of his relatives being killed, so much sorrow that he forgets his duty. This is the reason why all the scriptures, all the saints and sages have taught. Don't think you are going to live forever in this world, that all these things are yours. Nobody takes anything away when he goes. So, if we don't learn from this and we keep on repeating the same actions again and again, if there is no change, then it will just be another cycle after cycle. So Sri Ramakrishna says the entangled souls repeat those very actions that make them suffer so much. They are like the camel which eats thorny bushes till the blood streams from his mouth, but still will not give them up. So this sounds a little harsh, but the Master says in this way to make us understand how dreadful this attachment is. Moha. And moha, where there is moha, there has to be shoka or sorrow. So, Swami Vivekananda describes this conflict which is happening in Arjuna's heart. He says, I quote him, there is a conflict in Arjuna's heart between his emotionalism and his duty. And the nearer we are to beasts and birds, the more we are in the hell of emotions. We call it love. It is not love. It is self-hypnotism. We are under the control of our emotions like animals. A cow can sacrifice its life for its young. Every animal can. What of that? It is not the blind emotion that leads to perfection. To reach the eternal consciousness, that is the goal of man. There, sentimentalism has no place, nor anything that belongs to the senses. So this is what he says. So emotions, last time we have seen, clear about this. Emotions have no place means what? Unpurified emotions. Our emotions are not being directed to the correct place in the correct way. So we cause harm to ourselves, we cause harm to others also. Inordinate attachment. When parents gets too much attached to the child, we see all sorts of trouble take place. So we are not benefiting our children by getting too much attached to them. Not they are being benefited, nor we are being benefited. So we have to understand the rationale of all this. Purified emotions, when the emotions will be purified, they will be directed to the eternal entity which is behind every person. That is the difference. So when Sri Ramakrishna used to call Naren, as he was at that time, he was called Naren, student days. So he used to call him again and again, you have not come to Dakshineshwar, what happened? So Naren saw this for some time, then she told Sri Ramakrishna, you are getting so much attached to me, so you will become like Jada Bharata. Jada Bharata story in the Bhagavata is there. That Jada Bharata was a very great sage, but he became attached to a deer. So he had to be born as a deer because at the time of death he was thinking of the deer only. It is exaggeration, but it is to make us understand. So then Sri Ramakrishna, he believed blindly. Naren could not be wrong because he saw Sapta Rishis, he is coming from that height. Naren cannot be wrong. So he fell into, Naren is telling like this, then something must be wrong. So he went to the Divine Mother. The Divine Mother told him, don't worry, you love him because you see God in him. Then Sri Ramakrishna came and scolded, you fellow, you upset me so much. I love you because I see God in you. If I don't see God in you, I won't even look at you. So this means what? Their emotions are purified emotions. They are not directed to the mind and body. They are directed what is behind the mind and body. Behind each of us is the same reality. God, consciousness. So when a man is attached to that, not to any earthly mind and body, then he is on the right track. And being attached to that and being unattached to the world is not a joke. So the whole science of Bhakti Yoga shows us that. How to love the eternal reality, which is the only true thing in the world, and not this mind and body complex which is constantly changing. So Arjuna was overcome by these emotions. He was overcome by pity, and this was manifested as the physical symptoms which we have described. Pity may evoke compassion, but if it destroys our power to resist, destroys our discrimination, then it cannot be called a virtue. So, in this, to illustrate this, there is a small story told that there were three friends. So, they were going together. One was a little too emotional. So, of the three friends, one got into an accident. Something happened. He broke something. So, the emotional friend was beside himself. He started crying, weeping. Oh, what will happen to my friend? What a calamity, etc., etc. And he sat down weeping. But the other friend was more rational. So he did not lose his calm. Immediately he called 911, all that, and arranged for treatment. So this is just to show that too much emotionalism, when we completely lose ourselves in the emotions, then it can be a big problem even in ordinary situations of life. So Arjuna is like the emotional friend. Not only it is not necessary, but also not recommended, because this springs from a lack of discrimination. So we have already seen that Arjuna had come to see his enemies, those who had done him grievous wrong, but he is coming and seeing his swajana. Swajana means own people. So maybe if he had only seen Duryodhana and Shakuni and all those notorious characters, maybe he would not have been emotional in this way. But problem is he's seeing those also whom he loves and reveres. Bhishma Pitama, Dronacharya, Kripacharya, who have seen him as a young boy. So when that happens, he loses his mental balance. Then what did he say? What does he say? So let's go forward. As usual, you can please repeat after me. This is the 31st sloka of the first chapter. He says, न च श्रेयो नुपश्यामि हत्वा स्वजनम आहवे. So he says, न च श्रेय. Shreya means good. Anupashyami. I don't see any good, Krishna. Why? In what do I don't see any good? Hatva, by killing, swajanam. See, note this swajanam, it is coming again and again. Keeps on harping. My own people, my own people. Ahave, in battle. So, Krishna, why are you telling me to fight? I don't see any good. What good will come of killing my own people in battle? Now, if Krishna says, anticipating Krishna's question, that if you don't fight the battle, how will you get the Rajya? That is, how will you get the kingdom? Then if you don't get the kingdom, how will you get happiness? How will you be victorious? Anticipating this question, Arjuna says in the next verse. न कांक्षे विजयम कृष्ण न च राज्यम सुखानि च किम नो राज्ये न गोविंद किम भोगैर्जीवितेन वा. So anticipating that Krishna may say, without fighting, how will you be victorious? How will you get the kingdom? He says of himself, na kangshe, akanksha, desire. I don't desire. What? Vijayam. Krishna, I don't want to be victorious. Rajyam, I don't want the kingdom. Sukhani, I don't want this worldly happiness. Kim no rajyena govinda, kim bhogair jivitena va. What will rajya be used to me? What will bhoga, enjoyment, be of use to me? Then he reaches the climax. Jivitena va. What is the use of life itself? If my own people are not there, what is the use of life itself? Let alone this kingdom and all these things. So here we may think this is tremendous renunciation. So why is Krishna again telling him again and again to fight? This is the goal. If a person says he does not want a kingdom, he does not want enjoyment, he has no attachment to life itself, what more remains to renounce? So to all intents and purposes, we see Arjuna filled with what can be termed as vairagya, renunciation. He doesn't want anything at all. But is this genuine vairagya? That we have to see. How does genuine renunciation come? First comes knowledge. We read, we hear from our Guru the nature of the world, the nature of the soul. We meditate on the fact that too much worldly attachment leads us away to God. Then we begin to discriminate. Again, Sri Ramakrishna has said, discriminate between what is eternal, what is for 2 days. Discriminating in this way, give up what is eternal, give up attachment. You cannot, nobody says to give up living. Give up attachment to those things. So this happens gradually. To attain genuine renunciation may take many lives. It cannot happen in one day. It is a result of long sadhana. All the sadhana is to get this renunciation. Once this is achieved, most of the work has been done. So here what we are seeing, this renunciation is coming in Arjuna in 5 minutes. 2 verses ago, he was telling Krishna, take me to the middle of the battle. I will see who dares to fight with me. Suddenly he's got this renunciation. This means it cannot be genuine renunciation. It looks like renunciation. So Sri Ramakrishna describes it as what renunciation we have when we go to the cremation ground. Cremation ground in India, you see all the chittas, all the pyres burning. So we begin to think for 1 minute, oh, I will also be maybe burning one day. What is the use of all this? Everything will come to an end. But it doesn't last long. And another name for this type of renunciation is monkey renunciation, or it's called Markat Vairagya. Monkey doesn't remain at one place. It keeps on jumping from here to here. So Sri Ramakrishna says one person got disgusted with the world. He wrote a letter, I am going away, I am renouncing the world, in his home and went away. All the relatives became very worried. Oh my God, he is gone. He's left everything. What will happen? So after a week, they got a letter. That person had gone to Kashi. He had written a letter. Don't worry, I've got a job here. I'm quite all right. So that renunciation lasted only till he reached Kashi. So these are examples of this type of renunciation. And another thing we will know that how this cannot be called genuine renunciation, because the signs of genuine renunciation and the signs which are manifested in Arjuna, they are completely poles apart. Swami Vivekananda, you must have heard his name. He was trained by Swami Vivekananda and disciple of Holy Mother herself. So he has written an article in Prabuddha Bharata, long back, years ago, when he was still there. So he has written the name of the article itself is renunciation. So I will just quote a little. He describes when genuine renunciation comes, how do we feel? What peace it brings. Oh, sweet sounds, that divine idea in the imaginations of man, the noble theme of sages, that divine voice which comes as a gentle tap to rouse the sleeping human being from the doomed gloom, that inspiration of renunciation. That healing balm which cures the deep sores of accumulated impurities of 1,000 incarnations, that blissful relief and ease, that one essence which pervades through all the truths, that one goal through which to reach perfection, the keynote of all religious thought and life, perfect renunciation. It brings this peace. I am saved. But here Arjuna is becoming so weak, sorrowful. Is this the sign of renunciation? So in the Bhagavata, there is, Avadhuta Gita, there is a section in the Bhagavata. So Avadhut is teaching through stories. So one of the stories is which are the birds which take that fish from, they fly? Pelican, maybe some that it was there. So one of those birds got a fish somewhere and he was flying. And he saw other birds came to know. So they all swarmed. They also want that fish. So wherever he flew, there is no respite. These birds are following. So he was always worried. So finally, he dropped that fish. Immediately, all those birds left him and went after that fish. So this is this illustration. As soon as you leave the thing, you are in peace. It is only attachment to these things which cause the mind to be disturbed. So real renunciation, real vairagya always gives strength and peace. And Arjuna's state we have seen yesterday, it is far from strong. So he says, O Govinda, what need do we have of a kingdom or enjoyments or even of life? He says all this just to escape the situation. Somehow go away from the place. Then next verse. Etan hantum ichhami gnatopi madhusudana api trailokya rajyasya heto kim numahi krite. So he says, O Madhusudana, even if we die in the battle, means he may not fight. Suppose he says, I will not fight. Will Duryodhana leave him alive? He is sure to kill him. So he says, even if by not fighting we die, I don't want to kill those people. Even for the sake of a kingdom extending over the three worlds. Trailokya Rajyasya, also I don't want to kill these people, let alone for a small kingdom of earth. Then next verse. Nihatya dhartarashtrana ka priti syad janardana papam eva shrayet asman hatvaitan atatayinah. So he says, what happiness shall we derive by killing these sons of Dhritarashtra? And the next verse says, papam eva, we will get sin by killing these atatayinah. So this is a special word, atatai. Atatai means a felon. Now in our scriptures, if you study, every term has been defined in a most wonderful way. There is no room for doubt. All the things which relate to spiritual life, Jivatma, Paramatma, Karma, Indriya, everything is so perfectly defined and wonderful analysis. So what is a felon according to the scriptures? Who is a Atatai? In the scriptures it is says that if a person does these things, any one also, I will list the activities. If he does any one of these activities also, he is called a Atatai. So what are those activities? Agnido Garadaschaiva Shastra Panir Dhanapaha Kshetra Dara Haraschaiva Shadete Atatayina. So first is Agnida, one who sets your house on fire. Then one who poisons another person. One who comes to you with a weapon, brandishing a weapon. One who is a stealer of your wealth. And one who is a stealer of one's land and wife. So these 6 of them, if a person does even one, he is a Atatai. Now see, every one of these things, not one, all the 6 Kauravas had done. Setting the house on fire in Varanavat, they had set that house on fire, made of wax. Then poisoning. Duryodhana had poisoned Bhim when he went into that river. He thought he will drown there. Then brandishing a sword. So they had, of course, attacked they were attacking the Pandavas now. Stealer of wealth. They had stolen their whole kingdom, let alone wealth. And a stealer of land and wife. So we know Draupadi was also kidnapped when they were in the forest. So they had done every possible thing, every possible wrong. And what does the scripture say? How to deal with a atatai, how to deal with a felon. Scriptures say in the Manusmriti it is there, when one finds a felon approaching, one should certainly kill him without any consideration. No sin whatever is incurred by slaying such a person. So again, Arjuna is contradicting the scriptures. Scriptures say there is no sin involved, but he says, I will incur sin. So this means he is not thinking correctly. Manusmriti was in those times. So those times it was correct. We cannot go and slay anybody now, as we know. So these are smritis. Smritis means those which change with time, those which change with society. And Shruti is the Vedas, the spiritual truths of the Vedas. They do not change because they are eternal. What is the Atman, what is the Jivatman, theory of karma, they never change. So Shruti first, Smriti next. So this is the condition of Arjuna, that he is not even remembering what the scriptures say. Now I will ask you one thing. Again and again we are saying this, but we have also praising one king who had adopted more or less the same course as Arjuna. That was King Ashoka. King Ashoka, you must be remembering, he was a great warrior, great victor, but he suddenly decided one day that he will not fight any more battles. He will not go to any kingdom to conquer it. And he is praised because of this. So what is the difference between Ashoka and Arjuna here? I want you to tell me.
Without giving an attack, we were truly giving up attack. Arjuna was giving up not fighting because he was attached to the Israel.
Yes. More or less correct. And another reason is, another difference between these two is, Ashoka had renounced violence, he renounced killing after winning all the wars. He had won the wars, then he gave up violence. He had the strength, but he gave up. Here Arjuna even is not confident of his own strength. And secondly, he did not give up, as he said, he did not give up just because he saw his own people being killed. So this is what Sri Ramakrishna says is the difference between Maya and Daya. Maya means being attached to a very small number of people to whom you are related by blood. But Daya means you are related to all the people, all human beings. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, you know that famous here. The whole world is your family. So when we feel for every person, like all the saints and sages did, then it is Daya. But we see that we feel for only these two persons, these three persons, it is Maya. And that should be given up. So he says next, as we have seen, if in this battle the sons of Dhritarashtra armed with weapons, if they kill me also, I will not fight. Still, I think it will be beneficial to be killed by them rather than engage in violence. So this is the state. Now, Arjuna takes the one step which will save him. So all these things we may also face. But the most important thing which he does and which leads to his coming out of this turmoil is he is in. This we will see in this verse. He says, I do not see that which can, even after acquiring on this earth a prosperous kingdom, free from enemies, and even sovereignty over the gods, I do not see I will benefit in any way. So now he requests Sri Krishna to remove his sorrow, which is blasting his senses. So he takes shelter in God. And after this, he sat down on the chariot. As he said, he could not even stand. His legs could not uphold him. So, completely broken man. And that verse is, we will jump to verse number 47. So, I will chant as usual. Eva muktvarjuna sankhye rathopastha upavishat visrijya sasharam chapam shoka samvigna manasah. So manasa, mind, is completely overpowered by shoka, mind afflicted by sorrow. Then visrijya, he gave up, left. Sasharam chapam, he cast aside his bow with the arrows, and rathopastha upavishat, he sat down on the chariot. So we have seen that the great warrior Arjuna, whom even the gods and demons feared, who had even fought with Lord Shiva, is now even unable to stand because of lack of fortitude that has resulted from seeing the army of his friends and relatives. Yat shokam utshoshanam indriyanam, he says. That shok is blasting his indriya, means blasting his senses. So sum and substance of what he says to Krishna is this. How can you ask me to kill these dear and revered ones to whom I am obliged in so many ways? Can't you see who all are standing here? My fathers and grandfathers, maternal uncles and brothers, sons and grandsons, comrades and friends, fathers-in-law and teachers. See, here is Dronacharya, from whom I have learnt all I know about archery. You want me to use that very knowledge against him? Is this how I should return his favors? And you see who else are there, Bhishma, Kripacharya. You might as well ask me to kill Yudhishthira, because these people are as much my own as he is. So rather than fight them, it will be far better if I live in caves and forests and subsist by begging. And you of all people, Krishna, are asking me to engage in killing, which everyone knows to be a great sin. I will go to hell forever as a result. And I don't know what will be achieved by my fighting. In fact, if I don't fight, there will be a positive gain. As for that which we wish to gain by being victorious in this war, kingdom, enjoyments, etc., I will have nothing to do with. No, not even if I get to rule over the three worlds. Because what do I gain if I drench in the blood of, if something is drenched in the blood of my near and dear ones? And of what use will be all the pleasures of this world if I cannot share them with my near and dear ones? Wretched is my birth, if I ever think of harming them. I would rather give up my life than even think of doing that. In fact, it would be proper for me to please them in every way. Every person wants that his lineage to continue, that his descendants should live a long time. And you want me to destroy my own clan. It would be like killing oneself. So I won't lift my weapons to fight, to commit this evil deed. No, not even if my near and dear ones kill me as a result. So to hell with this war. I won't fight. So what was the situation of Arjuna like? Again we go to the Gyaneshwari, such beautiful similes he explains. Like a king who has lost his kingdom, or the sun which is engulfed by Rahu. Sun, there is a mythological tale, no? Rahu eclipse, to explain the eclipse. Or like a yogi who has fallen from his vows. Or like an elephant caught in a swamp. Such a powerful animal, but if he's caught in that, he cannot come out. So Arjuna is also caught in the swamp of his emotions. Or like a flower, the petals of which have withered. Just as clouds are pierced by strong winds, his heart was pierced by his attachments. So he became Tejahina. Teja, all power, all glory had left him. No dynamism, no energy, no strength. He was crushed by his emotions, as if he had lost everything. But fortunately, he had asked Krishna to remove his sorrow. Now, Krishna sees enough. I have heard everything. It's a very long one. We have shortened it very much. He gives many reasons for not fighting. Krishna says enough. He has to wake up Arjuna. Otherwise, everything will be lost due to his momentary weakness. So now, Krishna tells him, let us repeat that important verse, the first verse of the second chapter. Tam tatha kripaya vishtam ashrupurna kulekshanam vishidantam idam vakyam uvacha madhusudanaha. So to him, tam, kripaya avishtam, who had been engulfed by this pity, ashrupurna, he was weeping, Arjuna was weeping, vishidantam, who was sorrowing, to that type of Arjuna, idam vakyam uvacha, this vakya, this sentence was told by Shri Krishna. Kripaya avishtam. So as we have seen, this kripa is not that God's kripa. It's not that kripa. It is a pity, a kind of tenderness which springs from bewilderment in the form, these people are mine. Avishtam. Avishtam means filled with, pervaded, overwhelmed by that pity. So kripa had entered into him like a ghost. One who is possessed by a ghost does not know. Ghost has come. He thinks I am quite normal. To him who was therefore vishidantam, that is sorrowing. And as I just said, that each word, if you read the commentaries, each word is described. Vishada means sorrow. Now we can think how to describe sorrow. Sorrow is something which one feels, but every word is explained. So what is Vishada? Vishada is the distressed state of mind which goes by the name of sorrow, which is caused by the apprehension of death of one's own people, who are the objects of one's love. Death or any harm, any object or people. See how succinctly he has described sorrow. If we fear any loss of any person or thing to which we are attached by the sense of mine, we are in sorrow. And whose eyes Ikshana were filled Purna with tears, Ashru, whose eyes had become incapable of seeing, completely filled with tears, owing to pity and sorrow. To that Arjuna who had become depressed by pity and sorrow, which had thus grown in magnitude, the blessed Lord said. So Arjuna is completely broken down. He is experiencing something like a fit. Sometimes, when a person is too much under the emotions, he's suffering, swooning or something. They said that give him a tight one, so he will wake up. He's completely unnerved. One shock is necessary. So Krishna will give him that shock. And I think we can leave that till tomorrow. Or you want to do one more verse? I thought we'll have some songs today. So tomorrow is Saturday, no? Tomorrow we'll have to finish this. So we can, if you want. Okay, let us finish one verse, the second verse also. So what does Krishna say? The first thing which he says, and the second thing which he says is told that is the essence of the whole Gita by Swami Vivekananda. Yeah. No. Suspense will continue till tomorrow. So Krishna first Krishna says, let us chant this very important verse. We have already seen Krishna to one who is sorrowing, who was completely sat down, says, Bhagavan Uvacha. Krishna is telling, what? Kutastva kashmalam idam vishame samupasthitam anarya jushtam aswargyam akirti karam Arjuna. So Krishna is telling Arjuna, what is this happening? Am I hearing correctly? This is the bravest warrior in the world who was my devotee. Whole Pandava army is depending upon you. Am I really hearing correctly that you are telling all this and that you have no strength even to stand up? You are weeping. So, kutastva. Kuta means from where? Kashmalam. See, the word he uses is so bad. He says Kashmalam means impurity, dirty thing. Idam Kashmalam. So what you are experiencing, you are wallowing in your sorrow. You think you have become some great person full of compassion. This is a dirt. This is impurity. Don't think it is a big thing, very great thing. So idam Kashmalam, kuta, from where it has come. And of all the times, Vishame, in this very dangerous situation, they are waiting to kill you. And now in the battlefield, you are behaving like this. So in this dangerous situation, you have been overcome by this impurity in your mind. What type of that which you are entertaining, the feeling which you are entertaining, what does it lead to? You are thinking that you will go into the forest and become a Mahatman. No. It will lead to something very ignoble. What? He describes in the next verse which we have chanted. Second part of the verse. Anaryam. Arya means here enlightened person, cultured person. It is anaryam. It is not entertained by enlightened people. And aswargyam. If you think you will not fight and you will go to heaven when they kill you are wrong. And Arjuna had a reason to think that way. Because in the scriptures it is said, I won't go into too much detail. In the scriptures it is said that two types of persons go to heaven when they die. One is a yogi who is engaged in yoga practices. Second is one who sacrifices in life in a battlefield. If you die for your country, that is the ultimate sacrifice. And you will go to heaven. You will go to God. So Arjuna is thinking that if I don't fight, if I let them kill me, I will go to heaven. Krishna says, don't be under that delusion. This is a swargyam. It will not lead to heaven. And a kirtikaram. Kirti means prestige, reputation. People used to look up to Arjuna, such a brave warrior, brave devotee of God. So, it is a kirtikaram. Your kirti will go. It will bring you infamy. People will think, oh, this great Arjuna, when he saw all these Bhishma Pitama Dronacharya, he became scared. So the translation, Vishame, in this perilous place, Kuta, from where, without any reason, Samupasthitam has come, O best of the Kshatriyas, to you, this Kashmalam, impurity. What is that? Refraining from one's duty. Again and again we have to harp on this. This is the message of the Gita. Refraining from your duty, which is preceded by compassion, bewilderment, shedding of tears, etc., and which is condemned by virtuous people as something impure. So what Arjuna is considering to be knowledge, Krishna is considering to be impurity. And he's telling anarya. It is not cultivated by arya, enlightened people. In the Rig Veda, there is the definition of who is an arya. Vijanihi aryane chadasyavo barhishmate randaya shasadavratan. So, the translation is, because this Vedic Sanskrit is very difficult, so translation is, they are devoted, knowledgeable, cultured people. That is the definition of Arya. What is, in English we say Aryan. The original word is Arya. So Aryas are supposed to be endowed with discrimination, sense of what is wrong and what is right. So they don't entertain this, you will not go to heaven, and it will bring you infamy. So from where this has come? How can you even think like this? And then he tells all logically that tell me why you don't want to fight, one by one. Argue with me, Krishna says. I'm not asking you to believe blindly what I'm saying. So give me the reason why you don't want to fight. If you don't want to fight because you want moksha, liberation, or you want to go to heaven, or you want fame, you will neither get fame, nor heaven, nor liberation. All this is suggested by the word kuta. From where has this come? All the three reasons are ruled out by the three adjectives in the later half of this verse. Anare justam aswargyam akirtikaram. The meaning is, how can their duties be given up by people whose defects like attachment, etc., have not been eradicated, who are desirous of liberation through the purification of mind by following their duties? So till we are in ignorance, our mind is not yet enlightened by knowledge, we don't know the distinction, we have not realized the distinction between the Atman and the body. Till we are unenlightened, the only path to liberation is non-attached performance of our duty. That is the main message of the Gita. Do your duties with dedication, but giving up attachment. If before attaining enlightenment we give up what we are supposed to do, then this will be the result. We can neither get liberation, nor heaven, nor can we get a good reputation in the society. So, in society, if a person has to survive, he also has to have a good reputation, no? Anywhere we go, especially those who are living in the world, like you people, any situation you face, you have to mix with so many people, attend so many functions. So, this is a very basic necessity that we should act in such a way as to gain the respect of those whom we are living with. From the smallest unit, which is the family, to the largest unit, which is the whole society. Otherwise, if we do such things as being bereft of all kinds of achievements and only inviting disrespect, then that life is of no use at all. So he brings all the arguments, Sri Krishna, and answers him that only these three can be the reasons of your not fighting. But these three are nullified. So now tell me, why do you not want to fight? Why do you not want to do your duty? So after this, he will tell that verse which Swami Vivekananda has praised so much. And not only Swamiji has said that it is the essence of the Gita, but also Swami Vivekananda has explained that wonderfully. So tomorrow we can see that. Let us end here.